Hey there, guys. It's Nick, the ASMR nerd, and welcome to another episode of Relaxing Reviews. Today, we're looking at a gaming headset from a company called MPOW? MPOW? I'm not quite sure. I'm calling them MPOW. I'm pretty sure that's correct, but I've only ever seen the name written, never pronounced. Anyway, MPOW is kind of a Amazon budget darling when it comes to low cost headphones and earbuds. I've seen them recommended before for instance low cost Bluetooth earbuds. And they reached out to me a while back and they asked if I wanted to check out any of their products, and I looked and thought about it, but something caught my eye. They had many more kind of expensive and fancy products, but the one that caught my eye was a gaming headset for $25. It's just called the MPOW Gaming Headset. And honestly, from the pictures, it looked pretty good. The rating on Amazon was pretty good. And at that price point, you have to wonder, like, how good can this really be? For 25 bucks, what are we getting? So, in the pursuit of finding you guys good deals and bringing you good information about where to spend your hard-earned cash, I thought I'd check them out. Because in some ways, to me, really cheap, like budget gear is more interesting than higher end gear because they're working within such tight constraints. You know, the manufacturers often have to cut corners to hit their target price. So I was really curious to see what kind of compromises were made with MPOW's gaming headset, if any, or if indeed it is the budget win that a lot of people seem to be saying it was in the reviews. So we're going to take a closer look at MPOW's gaming headset here today. They very kindly sent over one for us to take a look at. I'm going to be unboxing it for you, then I'll be testing it out, putting it through its paces, and of course I'll give you my final verdict. So without further ado, let's take a look at MPOW's gaming headset. Okay, so here we have the MPOW gaming headset in box. Let's see what MPOW can do at this ridiculously low price point. I've got it standing upright here because honestly it's kind of bulky. It's hard for me to show you the whole box at once, but on the front we have enjoy your game. I think we can all agree that's the goal, even though we get a little salty sometimes. And then over here, can't read it backwards, what does it say? MPOW gaming headset, of course. I'll try putting this down and see. Yeah, you can sort of see it a little better this way maybe. Big ear cup design, it says right here. LED light. I don't know what kind of LED light, but some kind. 3D surround sound, which is a lot of headphones claim to offer surround sound, but they don't. They use, software solutions to emulate surround. They don't actually have surround sound drivers, multiple drivers in different places in the ear cup. There are a few that do that, but definitely not at the $20 or $25 price point. Okay, so maybe they have some kind of software solution. I'm honestly not sure. Okay, it does have a model number. Model BH357A. Catchy. But for all intents and purposes, they're just calling it the gaming headset. And MPOW themselves, their tagline appears to be Dream, Explore, Inspire. Why not, right? Why not? Okay, around the top, same thing. Around this side, we've got some features. I'm going to turn it around so I can read it. I think it says the same thing on both sides. So you can look at it on this side, even though it's obscured by the barcode. LED light, yeah, we saw that. Big ear cup design. Comfort fit. multifunctional wired control. Okay, so it does have an in-wire control, inline control. 50mm driver, which is a pretty good size. Not that that really says anything about the quality of the audio, but it's kind of a hopeful statistic, I guess. And 3D surround sound. And then on the back, we've got all kinds of tech specs, dimensions, sensitivity, microphone sensitivity, impedance, all kinds of audio specs. It says here the memory protein ear cushion stimulates human skin texture. Well, that's creepy. I don't want human skin on my ears. I mean, I want my skin on my ears. I don't want someone else's. Anyway, ensuring lasting comfort. If you say so, MPOW. The stainless steel slider and softly padded headband allows you to find the perfect fit without constraint and provides excellent durability. Yeah, I believe that the stainless steel headband will offer good durability. It can only be used as a wired headphone with the supplied audio cable, except wirelessly connected. What does that mean? These are wired headphones, I'm sure, and I believe it's a non-removable cable, judging by the looks of things. I'm not sure what the except wirelessly connected part means. But device compatibility is good. I mean, it's just a 3.5mm driver, right? So it works with PC, Mac, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox One X, your mobile device, anything with a 3.5mm jack. The sophisticated 50mm directional drive unit aligns with the binaural position, bringing clear and transparent sound effects and enhanced bass. Because the driving unit can accurately transmit the soundtrack to the wearer's ears, it can also accurately achieve audio positioning. Alright, this is a lot of marketing copy, and honestly, all the marketing specifications, like frequency range, it claims 20 Hz to 20 kHz, but pretty much all audio devices do. It doesn't really mean anything. They can kind of say what they want. So, proof is in the pudding. Let's open it up anyway and take a look at it and see what there is to see. Say the packaging looks nice. Like, it all looks pretty darn good. Professional, if slightly budget, but not bad. So this is everything in the box. There's nothing else in there. It all comes in this big resealable plastic bag. You can actually use this for like groceries or something. It's not bad. It's got a handle. It's got a little zipper. And here we've got a user manual, which we'll take a quick look at in a second. Put the crinkly bag away. Dang, okay. So, first thing that jumps out is we've got a nice braided cable, and it's soft. It's not like a coarse nasty, raspy braided cable. It feels pretty nice. It's very supple. Doesn't feel stiff. You know, sometimes braided cables are really stiff, but this one's not at all. It's also got a Velcro cable wrap. And it looks to be of decent length. At this end, oh, interesting. Huh. It was both USB or... Oh, no, I see. I thought maybe it could be powered either way, but no. The audio comes through the 3.5mm jack. Presumably that's good for both the audio in and the microphone out. It says here, there's a tag, it says, only for LED power supply. So if you don't care about the LED, you don't have to plug in this USB plug. It's just to power the LED. Okay. And then partway along, we've got this control pod. It's very plasticky, but, you know, again, at this price point, I have very low expectations. And so far, this is well exceeding them, just based on the build quality I'm seeing here. But it's got a volume dial right there. Feels fine. It's just a smooth scroll, no notches or anything. And then a mic mute. Mic off, mic on, mic off, mic on. Again, not the highest quality feeling item, but looks functional enough, doesn't it? And this nice braided cable is sort of got this, what do you call this? I don't know, it's rubber at either end to prevent it from fraying or whatever. There's a word for that. It's escaping me right now. Okay, so both that USB cable and that 3.5mm jack are just standard kind of black housing, a little bit gamery looking, nothing special there, and they come together at a Y junction, sort of rubberized Y junction right here. So that is the cable story. Reinforced, that's the word I was looking for. The control pod is reinforced on either end where the cable enters. Similarly, where the cable enters the headset, it is also reinforced. It looks like it'll probably last reasonably well. But this headset, this ain't bad. This certainly doesn't feel bad at all. There's more weight here than I expected. It's not super heavy, but again, given the price point, it feels weighty enough, you know, just as heavy as any other headphones I've used. These ear cups, in case you're wondering, the outsides, these are plastic. They look metallic, but they are not. However, this metal band over the top, this is steel. And it is screwed into the plastic ear cup right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Riveted, I suppose. There are markings for right ear and for left ear. We've got an MPOW logo here. And I'm still not quite sure which part of these lights up. I wonder if it's this. Got this kind of mesh right here. So this is an open back design, I suppose. Looks that way. Which means that, you know, other people are probably going to hear what you're listening to. And you might get some ambient noise coming in, but I'll test that. And then we've got this sort of concentric circle plastic accent. It looks alright. let's talk about the ear cups. The ear cups are nice and very thick, like an inch thick, and quite plush. And I guess they do feel a bit like human skin. I mean, it's just a protein leather. Like, it's not real leather, it's synthetic, but it feels alright. Inside each ear cup, a little hard to show you, but there you go. Inside each ear cup is just a bit of black foam, and then I can feel there's a grill right under there. The headband itself, let's look at that. Oops, pardon me. Oh, the microphone makes an appearance. We'll look at that in a moment too, but this headband itself is actually totally soft. It's got no structure to it. It says, across the top there, MPOW. But, of course, this steel slider is very rigid. And I guess the idea is that, you just put this on and then it kind of adjusts as required to the size of your head. You see what I mean? We've got these spring-loaded cables in here. And if I had to guess there was going to be a point of failure on this thing, this is probably where it's going to be. Some kind of spring-loaded mechanism in there with these look like plasticized steel cables responsible for holding this soft headband part to the frame. And then also presumably this black ribbon cable here carries audio. And I guess it runs through this soft headband. We have the same configuration on this side. The audio obviously comes in on the left side, so it gets routed through here, through the headband, and then into the right ear cup. So any place that there's that much kind of mechanical movement is where I expect there to be a point of failure. But who knows? Who knows how long it'll last for? I don't know, and I won't really be able to test it because I'm not going to wear it for months and months and years, but I guess if it fails in my testing period, which is usually a few weeks, I'll know. But yeah, but this all feels nice and soft and comfortable. And I guess the last thing to look at here is this here microphone, which maybe that's where the LED is. Maybe in the end of this microphone. I could see that. It's got a little capsule somewhere up in here. This is looks like a steel kind of snake, but it's covered in a plastic, and it is quite pliable, positionable. Seems like it'll stay in front of your face where it needs to be, like so. You can also fold it out of the way, I guess, if you don't want it. Non-removable though, just a reinforced connection, but non-removable. Okay, and that's pretty much all there is to these headphones. But you know what? For the price, the build quality really does look pretty darn good. It feels relatively sturdy. The metal really definitely adds to that feeling of solidity. There's a nice weight to it, and these ear cups feel really plush. And I really like this cable. It seems like a really nice braided cable, better than I've seen on even much more expensive products, if I'm being honest. So I'll have to try them on, of course. I will listen to them. That's a big, important aspect of them. Oh, before I move on, though, let's quickly take a look over here. We do have a few extras. We've got a user manual in a variety of languages. Yeah, really nothing particularly interesting or exciting there. We've also got a little piece of MPOW advertising. MPOW's VIP club. Ooh. I guess you can go online and maybe register this thing for extended warranties. Says something about extended warranty. 24-month after sale service guarantee. I don't think that's quite the same as a warranty, but anyway, you can go to their website, register for their club. But you know, MPOW does have a reasonably good reputation, it seems, on Amazon as being kind of a reliable budget seller. So, you know, maybe it's worth signing up for their club. I will say also, I don't know if you guys care, but MPOW has a whole lineup of products, and they offered to send me whatever if I was curious about any of them for review. If you guys want to see some of this other stuff that they've got, looks like they've got TWS earbuds, you know, wraparound earbuds. They've got kind of Beats style wireless over the ear headphones. I chose this because, you know, gaming's something I do on this channel, and it was real freaking cheap. But if you're curious about something else they sell, just leave a comment down below. Let me know if you'd like me to take a look at something. It can probably be arranged. And then, look at this. This really wasn't necessary, but here it is. If you're plugging into a PC with a separate microphone jack and audio out jack, this will allow you to do so. Just plug in this single connector into this adapter, and then away you go. It's a nice little additional pack-in that, again, really not expected at this price point. But I guess for compatibility with PC, they sort of have to include it. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to put these through their paces. I'm going to use them for gaming. I'm going to use them to listen to some music, some ASMR, maybe even a little audio editing of my own to see if they could even be used for sort of critical audio applications. We'll see about the build quality, the comfort, of course the sound quality. And after I've done that, we'll come back together here. I'll let you know about my experiences. Of course, you know the drill, run down the pros and cons and give you my final verdict. Back in a bit. Alright, so I've had the opportunity to use MPOW's gaming headset quite extensively for a number of weeks now, and I'm here to tell you what my experience was. And I'm happy to inform you that it was mostly very positive, especially considering the price point that these things come in at. That's an important factor to keep in mind at all times with this product. They cost, well, $27 MSRP on Amazon, but it seems that there's pretty much always a promotional coupon of some kind available. I think I saw a $5 off coupon at one point. Right now, it seems to be a 10% off coupon. But regardless, you can get these things for $25 or less, pretty much without fail, it seems. And again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, at that price point, you have to wonder what sacrifices, what concessions had to be made, what corners had to be cut by the manufacturer to hit that target price. And I'm happy to tell you that it seems like very few corners had to be cut to get these headphones at the $25 price point. So in terms of design and build quality, these things are really good. We saw some of that during the unboxing, but I like this metal headband. It feels very solid. Less crazy about these plasticky connectors here. But overall, I was never worried that the thing was going to break on me. It doesn't seem to have too many points of failure. I really like this cable. It is very supple, nicely braided, decently long, really good. That inline remote, it feels really cheap, but it gets the job done, and it is reinforced at each end, so I find it unlikely that the cable's going to break or fray there. Also happy to say it is very, very comfortable. It's got these big squishy, squashy ear pads. They don't want to come into focus there. But they are really comfortable, and it doesn't clamp on the head very hard. It sits pretty loosely on the head, and the result is that you can wear it for many hours without feeling any kind of fatigue from the clamping. In fact, most of the weight of the headphones sit on this soft band along the top here. And it's nicely kind of evenly distributed out. So, really comfortable design. The one drawback of this design is because of that low clamping strength, it doesn't seal fully around my ear. And so these headphones have very poor sound isolation. There's a lot of background noise that leaks in. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend these for use like on public transit or anything like that. Anywhere that's going to have a lot of background noise that you want to block out. These are much better for use in a quiet room, a study or bedroom at home with your PC, for example. But overall, good design, very, very comfortable. And it feels pretty solidly built, honestly. It feels way more solid than any product at this price point ought to, or than I would expect it to. One thing I will point out is the LEDs are pretty gimmicky. I will show you what they do right now. I've got this headset. So you have to, I think we saw this in the unboxing, but you have to plug it in via USB. Just a USB-A connector, which you don't really need to see. I guess it's not going to let you see it anyway. Come now. There we go. This USB-A connector. If you want to get the LEDs, that's the only way that the headset gets power. And I've just got a little battery backup here, a little battery pack that I'm going to plug it into because I don't have my PC here in my recording space. But I'll plug it in there, and I should be able to show you. There we go. So the ear cups light up like so. Both ear cups like so. That whine you hear is apparently the battery pack, so please ignore that. And the tip of the LED, or the tip of the microphone, pardon me, lights up like so. So, yeah, that's a terrible noise. Ultimately, I don't think those lighting features are worth using a USB port for. I would certainly never do that. And honestly, I just kind of rather that they didn't have the LEDs at all, and they shaved another $1 or $2 off the cost. Because if they could get these down to the $20 price point without the LEDs, holy cow, that would be an incredible deal. As it is, the option's there. You're never going to see it because you don't see your own ears. I guess you might see the tip of your microphone, but anyway, I wouldn't waste the USB port on it. I'd kind of rather they didn't have it, but your mileage may vary, I guess. Speaking of that microphone, it's fine. I surmised that it might not be very good. It's not great. It gets the job done, though. And just for you, I've actually recorded a little audio sample so you can hear what it's like. Let's give it a listen. This is a test of me speaking softly into the headset mic. And now I'm whispering. How is this going to sound? We'll find out. So you can see what I mean. It's certainly not the worst microphone I've ever heard on a headset, but it does have quite a bit of background white noise, kind of static, especially compared to what you're hearing right now. Granted, these microphones cost a lot more than this one, but certainly for basic voice communication, it'll get the job done. I did find I had to move it quite a ways away from my mouth to not pick up my plosives, to get the boominess, the popping on it. So it would be nice if MPOW included a little foam windscreen on it. And I can't imagine that would add too much to the cost. So that would be my preference, but as it is, you can sort of bend it down and out of the way of your mouth a little bit so that it's not right in the way of your breath. I will also say it was a little bit quiet. I had to turn up my recording, like my input volume, all the way on my PC to get a reasonable recording, and then I still had to jack up, amplify the volume after the fact. So, and I don't know if that was just the mic input that I was using for some reason was very quiet, but worth noting anyway, it seems to be a pretty quiet mic. But all of that aside, the most important thing perhaps is sound quality. And the sound quality of these headphones, after some EQ, is totally decent. It is better than one would expect at this price point, let's put it that way. It's not going to blow you away. It's not going to reveal details you've never heard in music before. Voices sound fine, but not especially, natural or clear. The lower register, by default, is lacking. There's not a lot of low-end extension. Again, with some EQ, you're able to bring that low end out, but the bass never sounds especially powerful. It's present, but it tends towards the boomy side, and you never really get that sort of mid-low thump, that sense of really controlled, powerful bass. It tends to be pretty boomy, and these are certainly not the headphones for bass heads, if that's what you really want. If you're going to listen to a lot of bass-heavy music, probably not for you. But for basic use and listening and gaming, I found that they packed enough punch anyway. I played some Overwatch, for instance, played some Witcher 3, some Assassin's Creed Origins, and certainly the bass presence was substantial enough that it didn't feel like I was missing that part of the register. Again, this is after EQing them a bit. It did take me a while to play around with the EQ and find a sound signature that I really liked, because by default, not a lot of bass, sounded pretty thin. The mids and the highs, they never sound especially good. You never get a lot of crispness out of these headphones, and if you try and push those middle highs to get more clarity out of them, it just comes forward very harsh, very abrasive, and just fatiguing on the ear after a period of time. And so I actually pulled those back in the EQ, and they sound fine. It's all still there, but there's not a lot of really crisp clarity. And the trebles at the very high end, again, they're there, but they lack presence. They tend to sound pretty thin, somewhat attenuated, like sort of cymbal crashes and stuff in music. They don't have a lot of clarity or brightness. They just sound a bit on the thin side. So that sounds a little bit damning when I put it all that way. And at first I wasn't super impressed with the sound quality coming out of these. I thought they were fine, but kind of what you'd expect at the $20 or $30 price point. But again, after EQing a bit, they perform better than they first seem. And I did end up gaming with them for quite a while, listening to some music quite happily. They're not going to fool you into thinking they're $150 headphones, but they certainly sound significantly better than one might expect at the $25 price point. For what it's worth, I gave these to my girlfriend, Sarah, and I played some music, and I told her beforehand. I didn't tell her what the price was or anything about them. I just asked her to listen to some music, and then I asked her what she thought the price of these headphones was. She had a chance to kind of handle them, put them on her head, listen to them a bit. And her guess was $80. She thought these were $80 headphones. She was blown away when I told her that they were only $25. So that's a pretty candid opinion right there. And I would agree. For $25, they're a pretty impressive piece of kit. That was my experience with them anyway. So now that I've basically told you everything about my usage experience, let's run down the pros and the cons, which is kind of just reiterating what I told you, and then I'll give you my final verdict. And of course, you know me, Mr. Positive, so let's start with those pros. I'm going to run these down pretty quick because I just gave you all the details. So, things I like about this headset: very solidly built considering the price. An inline remote, which is very nice. That wasn't supposed to rhyme, but it sounds now like I'm reading these out in verse. I was reasonably impressed with the sound quality. They have decent sound quality, again, especially considering the price and after they've been EQ'd a little bit. They're also very comfortable to wear for extended periods of time, which made me very happy. And finally, they are exceptionally affordable. Under the cons, one thing was that loose fit that I mentioned. That does make them very comfortable, but it does mean that I wouldn't necessarily use them in an active scenario. So if you were trying to run with them or something, certainly they wouldn't stay on your head. It also contributed to poor sound isolation, where a fair bit of background noise leaks in. So again, I wouldn't necessarily wear these somewhere with a lot of loud stuff going on, like in a gym or on public transport or on an airplane. Bearing in mind, these are a gaming headset. They're big and bulky. They have a non-removable microphone, so you're probably not going to use them in those scenarios anyway, but it's worth mentioning. Speaking of that microphone, it's pretty average and it is non-removable. It would be really nice, actually, if you could just take it off. I've used other headsets, granted much more expensive headsets, but other headsets nonetheless have the ability to just remove the microphone, just a little 3.5mm jack pops in or pops out. And I don't really like having the mic in front of my face all the time because I use an external microphone, a Yeti, when I'm at my PC. So it would be nice to be able to remove that microphone just so it's not in the way. And finally, the LED lighting on these things, pretty gimmicky. Honestly, I prefer it if it just wasn't there at all and they just removed that USB connector on the cable. And ideally, if they sold it for cheaper, that would be even better. Pretty gimmicky USB or LED lighting. Well, I think that might be the fastest I've ever run down the pros and the cons in a video like this, but I already kind of told it all to you when I was describing my usage experience there, so it probably comes as no surprise to you that my verdict on these headphones is very positive. MPOW's gaming headset is a fantastic value. If you're looking for something and you don't care about a name brand and you want the built-in microphone and you want the inline remote and you don't want anything wireless and you don't want to spend more than $25, then I can highly recommend these headphones. They punch in above their weight in pretty much every way, in terms of build quality, in terms of comfort, in terms of sound quality after a bit of EQ. They're not perfect by any stretch. They have some minor annoyances. They're not going to blow you away with their sound quality. They're not going to sound like $100+ headphones. But for $25, what do you expect, right? So at their given price point, MPOW's gaming headphones offer excellent value. And that's it. That's all. We're done. That's all she wrote. It's another one in the bag. Another relaxing review comes to a close. Special thanks to MPOW for sending over the review sample that we took a look at here today. And if you're interested in checking out MPOW's gaming headset, there is a link down below this video and at the top of the comments where you can do just that and pick it up for yourself if you're interested. And of course, special thanks to each and every one of you for watching. I really do appreciate it, so thank you. I hope you found this informative. I hope you found it relaxing. And I look very forward to having you back next time for another episode of Relaxing Reviews. Bye for now.